Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of Why Aren't You on DVD? This is going to be Volume 3 in this series, where I take a look at several different horror movies that's never been released onto DVD or Blu-ray in the US. So let's go ahead and get started, and the first film I want to talk about is more like a documentary more than anything, and it is Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors. This was a special that Fangoria did, where they sent people in to record people's experiences at their Weekend of Horror horror convention that they did. This is, I believe, is from like mid-90s, I believe, mid to late 90s, I think, and they've never put it out on DVD. I don't know why. Maybe there's some rights issues with it. I'm not sure, but I would love to see this put out on DVD. It's very retro, very nostalgic to watch these and see all the different types of like costumes and celebrities and stuff that showed up at this convention back then, considering the way that conventions are nowadays. Another one up is called They Bite, and this one I can understand why it's not out on DVD, because it's not a very good movie, but the cover here, I remember when I was a little kid and seeing this in the video store, it always, like, I loved this cover. It was just something that always intrigued me, and I always wanted to rent it just because of this, even though the movie wasn't very good. It stars Ron Jeremy in it, and there is some really obscure stuff in this movie, and I can't remove my finger here for reasons you should know why. But this movie is very, very cheesy, very weird. It's about like fish monster creatures, and just love the title, and I love the cover art. That's the only reason why I want this on DVD. I would love to see an updated version of this cover art. Next up is another documentary type. It was a special that was on TV from 1990, and it is the Horror Hall of Fame. This was an award show that they did in the 90s. It was hosted by Robert Englund, where they would do 5 to 10 minute retrospective on horror films that they would give an award to for like the Hall of Fame, and they would show clips from upcoming movies at the time. They would have interviews with different actors and directors and stuff. There's even an appearance by Chucky. The Crypt Keeper makes an appearance. It's a very, very cool documentary. This was the very first one that they did in 1990. It was followed by Horror Hall of Fame 2 and 3 as well, which I might cover in another episode. But this one right here, first up, the Horror Hall of Fame Volume 1 from 1990. I would love to see this on DVD. It'd be really cool if Scream Factory could get the rights to all these and release like a 1 DVD set that would have all 3 years of these on there. That'd be really cool. But just for now, I'd love to see the very first one out. The next one up is a 80s slasher movie. I believe it's from like 88 or 89, and it is New Year's Evil. And this film pretty much follows a guy who is calling a radio station on New Year's, and he said that he's going to kill someone every hour from the different time zones that reach midnight for the new year, and the police have to figure out who it is and why he's doing it and who he's going to strike next before time runs out. Always seemed to like this movie. It was a very, very cheesy, very cool slasher movie, and it's one of the only movies I know that takes place on New Year's. So why isn't this on DVD? I have no idea. Maybe it's a rights issue like most films, but I wish it'd get released. It'd be a perfect one for Scream Factory again to release. The last one up here is a movie called Screamtime. It is a horror anthology. I'm a huge fan of anthology films. It's my favorite subgenre of horror films. And this one, it's a really, really cheesy, and I believe it is a British-made film. I'm not sure exactly. But actually, I take that back. It might even be a Canadian movie. I'm not sure. But the first anthology has to deal with like marionette puppets, which is kind of weird. But the wraparound story is kind of cool. It's a cool idea. It's about 2 friends who rent videos from a video store, and each video that they watch is one of the anthology stories, and that's kind of cool. I like that idea. But I love anthologies, and I wish this would get released on DVD, because I would definitely pick it up. Good anthologies, bad anthologies, I love them all. So that is Screamtime. That is it. That's the 5 films for this episode. I would love to see all those released onto DVD, and hopefully some of them on Blu-ray, but I doubt that'll ever happen. But if you guys have any ideas of movies that I've never heard of, or you think should be on this episode, or on future episodes I should say, please leave a comment down below and let me know, and I'll get around to watching them and see what I think of them. So Thanks, guys, for watching the third episode of Why Aren't You on DVD, Volume 3. See you guys.